seriously,
So
there's
did
a guy
they.
up there who wants money. Can you just give it to the guy up the road? This guy is sitting down there farther up.
Bye.
I'm on it. Yeah, I'll give it to you. Thank you. Just stick around for a second. Just stick around for a second. So that was grace. And because the truth is, nobody could ever meet the standard that I just asked you about. It was almost unfair of me. My purpose in asking you those questions was to show you that you can't live up to this standard. I couldn't tell you to go ahead and try to keep these commandments because I know you can't. So God's the same way. He said you must be, his demand is that you be perfect. You can't get into heaven unless you're perfect. But guess what? You're not.
What's the object of this exercise?
To show you that you can't be perfect, that you need help. You need grace.
Right? So if I need grace, what's the next step?
What's the next? Great question. What did God do that was graceful for all of us? Do you know?
Are you for or against religion? Is that what the exercise is here?
I'm for belief and faith.
You're for belief and faith?
Faith, yes. But do you know what God did that is gracious on your behalf?
What's that?
Do you know what He did on your behalf that is gracious?
He created me.
He did, and that was gracious. Yes.
Yeah.
Do you know what else He did? It's okay.
He taught me to love.
Okay. Here's what He did. He knew that you couldn't keep that standard. You knew I couldn't keep that standard. So He graciously stepped out of heaven, lived on this earth as a flesh and blood man, walked in moral perfection. We're talking about sin and righteousness and judgment and the fact that none of us can live a righteous life. God Himself, being the lawgiver, is the only one who could ever follow the law. He came here, He lived thought, word, and deed perfect. And when the time was right, He came and He went to the cross and He bore my guilt and your guilt. It's like somebody who was wrongly convicted of a crime, only he was willingly wrongly convicted on your behalf. He really did die. He was laid in the ground, he was buried for 3 days, and then he rose from the dead. 500 people saw him on 11 different occasions. Roman history, world history, it's beyond debate. The man lived perfectly, was just, died, and rose again. People's lives were changed afterwards. It's a testimony that's tried and true, proving he was God.
This guy's thinking.
I am thinking. Are you thinking?
Are you thinking? What do you think about that? What do you think about that? What would you say to somebody if you were on trial for your life right now? You were guilty of murder. You knew you were guilty of murder. You knew the judge knew you were guilty of murder, and somebody said, "Dude, I'm going to go to jail for you." What? So you can go free?
I wouldn't do that.
You wouldn't do that?
No. I would not have another guy going to jail for me if I was a murderer. No.
Yeah? No? So you're willing to pay the price
Of what my sins? Yeah.
Are you? Eternity in hell. That's what you face. You die tonight without faith in the one who paid the price for you. That's what you face. Eternity in hell. That's the option you have. You have eternal life, eternity.
That's the option I have.
That's the option that's
No, it
laid
can't
up
be
for
one
you.
or the other.
It is one or the other. That's
It
it.
could be one or neither.
Men live, man. We don't need no sorry. You know Asian brave. I don't need no sorry about
Well,
that.
thank you very much. You know, you can
No, you give that to somebody else.
So if the guy walks by, you can.
Can I get this? No, I can't take that. Honestly, I cannot take that back.
Well, why change
You take this because I got it to you. It's a gracious gift. It's for you. That's for you.
You know, now that question, yeah, absolutely.
Are you? What is based on what?
Based on right here.
On your heart. But we just talked about the things in your heart.
I know, but the things I believe in my heart and things that you believe in your heart could be the same thing, but we would believe them differently.
Okay, if I
Right.
believed I could jump off this building and fly,
Yeah.
if I believed it all my heart, absolutely, I was
Yeah.
100% convinced, and I stepped off, I'm going to hit the ground, right?
Not necessarily. If you believe you can fly, you could.
You think I can fly
Absolutely.
just because I believe it?
If you believe.
So I have the power to change the law, the proven observable law of gravity.
You believe that in your heart? If you could make that happen, you could. I know I couldn't.
You could.